As we get closer to salmon fly season here in the Pacific Northwest, there's a few flies that I won't be without. One in particular is called the Mega Prince. I'll be showing you how to tie that today. If you have golden stones or salmon flies or even summer stones in your local rivers, give this fly a shot. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how well it fishes. I'm going to tie it in a size 8 today, and I'll fish it anywhere from a size 10 to a size 6, but 8s typically are my go-to size. So we're using a Dairiki 710 size 8, and it's a 1x strong, 3x long nymph hook with a 5/32 gold bead. Put it in your vise. First step, put the bead to the rear and tie in your thread at the eye of the hook. I'm tying a piece of silicone, rubber, or sexy floss. I really like this Bard sexy floss. Make about 6 wraps. When you tie the stuff off, pull it nice and tight and clip it, and that'll snap it back into the thread. And I'm just going to put a couple half hitches in there. Clip off your thread, then move your bead to the front. Now I'm going to take some lead wire. This is .025. Wrap it on the hook. Once I get up to the bead, I'm going to push it forward into the bead. And reattach my thread. And go over the lead to secure it. I'll go back and forth about 4 times. Just to really make sure it's secure and it doesn't turn on you. And at this point I'm going to tie in some medium copper wire. I'll tie it right up next to where the lead starts. I'm going to follow it down the contour of the bend. The reason I tie it clear up here is to maintain an even tail here when I wrap this. I don't want to drop off. Okay, so I've got my tag. Just where the hook starts to straighten out, I'm going to tie this off. I'm going to tie in a little piece of brown marabou. This is brown grisabou. I chose this just for the color variegation. Brown marabou works too. Tie that in, clip it off. Move your thread back to where you tied in your marabou at. I'm going to tie in another piece of the sexy floss. For my tail, and now I'm going to tie in the rib for my body. This is going to be gold wire size brassy. And for the body, we're going to use peacock herl. So I'll get a fairly large clump here. This is probably 7 or 8 pearl fibers. And tie them in. butt first. Clip off the butts. And tie in the peacock curl, and I may need 2 clumps depending on the size of the hook. This one it looks like I'll be able to get by with 1 clump, but sometimes if you're tying like a size 6 you may need to do it in 2. I tie off my peacock curl. Now to really secure this peacock curl so it doesn't break on you, I'm just going to do a nice wide X pattern back and forth with my thread over the peacock curl. That's one of the reasons I use black thread on this fly, is because it really blends with this peacock curl and you can't see it. Olive does a good job too. And now with my copper wire rib or my gold wire rib, I'm going to reverse wrap this herl to really lock it in and create a nice durable fly. Okay, clip that off. I'm going to pick a brown saddle hackle. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of the fluff at the bottom. Not very much, just a little. Tie that in. Wrap it. And I'm going to wrap it to the bead and tie it off. Clip it. I'm going to take all these fibers and pull them back and wrap back over it. What that does is it not only sweeps all your hackle backwards, but it also you've physically wrapped over the stem and made it completely durable. That way it can't break. Now I'm going to tie in a set of rubber legs. Now the traditional pattern has just 2 legs on top, like this. And what I like to do with this fly is put a set of legs on either side. Now, if I can get it to lay right. I like the concave of this floss to go back in towards the fly. If you've seen any of my other videos, that'll be in there as well. So now you can see the concave is moved in back towards the fly instead of outwards. And now for the topping, which is really the only thing besides a peacock curl body that kind of makes this in the Prince category. So we're going to take some white goose biots, put them in a V, and tie them in on top. And it's going to extend a little past the tail. Now for some peacock ice dub. Now I'm going to whip finish and I'm done. It's easier to use your hands to whip finish because of these legs on here. You can use the tool, you just kind of got to go slow because these front legs will wrap up in your thread and in the tool. And if I do a hand whip finish, I typically do 2, just because they're not as tight as doing one with the whip finishing tool. Now I'm just going to clip down all this rubber a little bit. And there you have it. Yeah, not quite. These are still a little long. So now you have it, the finished Mega Prince